Well, today we are very happy to tell you that we begin a brand new monthly series here on AM Buffalo titled A Healthier You with Univera Healthcare. Our guest this morning is Dr. Richard Vienne, Univera Healthcare Vice President and Chief Medical Officer. Welcome, Doc. Nice to have you here.
Thanks, Linda, for having me on.
Oh, yes, and we understand, today's message is very timely. It's skin cancer and how to prevent it.
Yeah, skin cancer. Melanoma is on the rise. Melanoma is the worst type of skin cancer, Linda, and it's really, really, really important that the viewers know how to reduce this risk.
This is also something that everyone, no matter what your skin color or your age, you are at risk for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bob Marley, unfortunately, passed away from melanoma.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow. And I understand that more than 5 sunburns can double a person's risk for melanoma.
Yeah, think about that for a second. 5 sunburns. Most people report they have a sunburn each year.
Yes.
So it doubles your risk of skin cancer. So it's so vitally important every time you go out in the sun that you make sure you have sunscreen that's an SPF of 15 or greater.
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad you mentioned the rating because they're not all created equal. The CDC has recommendations that we're going to be talking about as well. But you might find terrific sunscreens at your dermatologist's office. Now, sometimes they will carry a line, or even sunblock, which is going to make sure you're really not getting any of the harmful rays.
Yeah, it's so important. So the CDC recommends a sunscreen that's an SPF of 15 or greater. Wearing sunglasses, because sometimes melanoma can appear in the eye, which is not
Never knew that.
very well known. You know, wear wide-brimmed hats. You know, make sure that you get the sun off your ears, your neck, your face. You know, make sure you stay out of the sun in the middle of the day. That's when the sun is at its greatest intensity. And also, don't use a tanning booth. Avoid that. Kids or people who have used tanning booths before the age of 35 increase their risk of melanoma by 75%.
Even though they're told we don't have those kinds of rays and this is safe. And
I think buyer beware. That's, you know, protect yourself. You don't want to be that person.
Also, we have to make sure our children are protected and our babies. When we love to take them out in the sun, we love getting the vitamin C that comes from the sun. But boy, that little tender skin can burn real fast.
Exactly, and that's an important point too. Everybody thinks of skin cancer as older individuals.
Right.
Yes, 20% of Americans will develop skin cancer, but melanoma is on the rise in young women. It's an 800% increase over the past 30 years and a 400% increase in young men. So I get the desire to have the tan, but you gotta protect yourself.
And of course, might you suspect that you have melanoma? It might be in the form of a mole that's changing?
Yeah, mold that's changing, something that just doesn't look right. As with everything, if you're suspicious, get to a doctor. Have that doctor assess it and make sure that it gets taken care of appropriately.
Because unfortunately, if you let melanoma go, it can be fatal.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
It can travel to the brain. I actually had a friend one time, big tennis player, had a little spot on his shoulder. It traveled to his brain. He had a seizure, and that's how they found the melanoma on his brain.
The other forms of skin cancer, are they from the sun as well?
Yes.
Squamous cell and
basal cells, and each of these. So the bottom line is the sun can have a long-term effect upon you. So just take the steps that are necessary. Get the sunscreens.
Makes sense. Doc, what about heredity? If your parent or someone in your family has had skin cancer, might you be more susceptible?
Not from a genetic standpoint per se, but lifestyles and families tend to spend time at the beach together.
Right.
Barbecues together, outside together. So there could be a propensity just because of the lifestyle of a certain family, but
makes sense.
It's so important that you protect.
Absolutely, and even in the winter, folks, too, especially when you're on the ski slopes.
Yep.
It's just one of those things, it's that reflective light. Listen, we are very excited because what we're going to do is we're going to have Dr. Vienne back every month with tips for a healthier you from Univera Healthcare, and watch for his health tips each Wednesday during Eyewitness News at 5 a.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. So thank you so much, Dr. Vienne, from Univera Healthcare in Western New York.